All right, guys. I decided to go live today. I know these lives be sporadic, but when I do find time to go live, I decide to go live because, of course, there's some things that I need to say. And what I want to say first and foremost is that I hope it is with my hope that the nasiha that I try to give, I don't even know if it's nasiha, but the advice that I try to give um is very helpful and will help more of us navigate and will help more of us get on the same page in order to realize our
Hey,
goals
I'm stressed today.
and realize our realize that the odds against us are very heavy. Realize that we're actually we're outnumbered. I'm just going to be honest when it comes down to our goals, our you know, our aspirations, which are very normal. You know, I would expect that many of our aspirations are very normal, right? We are outnumbered in this regards though, when it comes down to our aspirations, our goals, our hopes, and things of that nature. So what I want to do is kind of equate the situation that we're in right now to a text that was actually written by a scholar from the area that we know as Cameroon, uh, you know, the northern Cameroon. And it kind of actually predicted the situations that are going on right now. You know, this is some heavy stuff. Uh, and may God may God preserve uh may God preserve the this scholar who has the who has taken the time out to bring this text to the forefront, because a lot of times people don't even know that this text exists. I wasn't aware of this text until recently, but I'm just going to bring some things to light, in regards to this text. Just give me one moment. Just give me one moment. I'm looking for one more thing. What I want to say is this. I know what I'm about to say, everything is going to sound pretty far fetched. I understand that. But it is true the way I look at it. Because I'm going to say one thing: globalization is an imperialist game. And because of globalization, that's why our options are very few when it comes to this game we're playing in as far as dating is concerned. So, you know, for better or for worse, dating in the old sense of the word used to be because you wanted to find someone that you can marry. Dating in the West is very much transactional. You know, women, modern women, leverage sex leverage different kinds of things in order for you to fork out more money to you, you know, in order for you to fork out money, more money to them, right? I hate to say it, but pretty much the dating game in the West is a high stakes game of prostitution. I'm just going to be honest. Now, there's a couple of there's a couple of options that we have. Okay, there's a couple of options, and one person actually suggested this option, and I think it's the option I'm going to go with. Although the Hydra I am making is not going to be like a permanent Hydra. It's going to be a partial Hydra. So let's see. Let me see. I want to see something real quick. I'm looking through this text right now. I'm going to read some key points, and then I'm going to go into what I wanted to talk about. Okay. All right. I'm just looking. This is a good text, though. I never forgot about it. Okay. So the thing is this. Back in Africa before the eve of colonialism, uh, there was a lot of talk, about just different subject matters about, you know, basically the end of times. And this was like, I don't want to say it was an obsession, but it was something that was on the minds of Muslims a lot. And to a smaller extent, non-Muslims too. Um, the thing is that when the colonists came, some people decided that it was necessary to, leave to different parts of Africa where maybe or even leave Africa completely. Um, and because of that, you know, um, this never stopped. This was never supposed to stop. So as crazy as this sounds, I'm just gonna sound very far-fetched in what I'm about to say. I don't think I think we have to carry on that torch. And the reason I'm saying it is because of what is happening in the West right now, which I am about to show in a few clips and in a few things. Okay. Just looking through this text. It's a heavy text. That's the thing. There's like a lot of pages to it. All right. So let's treat let's treat like what we're let's treat the dating market, let's treat the battles we have with the genders, like between us male and us females. Let's kind of treat it as a, as a I want to say kind of like as a war. I hate to say it. And there's three solutions, okay? And I'm reading these solutions from the text, but this text wasn't about the gender war that we're in. This isn't the text about this isn't the text about a gender war. Okay. So there's three choices. One of the first choices is to fight the way we've been doing through our social medias, through our through like information, like from different channels, like for example Black Mind, shout outs to him, from like guys like Rubo Zizman, shout outs to him, from guys like Please Act Right, shout outs to him, from guys such as who came before, like Kevin Samuels and the like thereof. That's the first way we can do it, the way we've been doing it right now. The second way we can do it is make a truce. And I think that's the way that the simps have decided to take, and the panderers have decided to take, is make a truce. And then the third option, which is the option I recommend, is immigration. Okay. That's it's the most difficult option, but it's the option I recommend. Okay. Um, let me see. Okay. So here's the thing that we have to understand. And may Allah protect us from this, may Allah protect us from us. May Allah protect us from this happening. But the option is, if we stay, um the thing is, unfortunately, we'll just be having their destructive characteristics, blameworthy customs, and we'll start to imitate them and also imitate their way of life. But you know, you'll begin to grow fond of their customs, and unfortunately, the youth will be molded into their pattern of life. Um, Women and children will become fascinated by them and begin to dress themselves with their adornment, and uh of course, we've lost, like, I guess you can say, that thirst for knowledge of the Sunnah. And basically innovation is more cherished than actual Sunnah. That's why you have these liberal Muslims coming up with these different things. That's why you have these liberal Muslims like saying that things are okay. That's why you have this situation going. You know, um, now, one thing is, we have to be on our guard in regards to this. Also, it is also said that there is no justification for forsaking immigration. I know some of us have gotten comfortable where we are, right? But we can't we can't like we can't basically fear the unknown. We have to embrace the unknown. Although it's hard to do it, we have to, you know, we have to do it because if not, we're just going to be in the same situation we're in right now. So, with that being said, I think the best option for men who are, and I'm speaking especially to Muslim men, it's best to just leave because here's something that I found that I'm about to show.
Hi, America. This is Big Roast, B to the I to the GG Roast. So there's this other trend on here called Passport Bros. So all the man bashing that goes on, you got the simps and the cucks and the whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest too. I'm gonna be completely honest, right? I'm gonna be completely real with you. Um, as a like by default, social media is very biased. Okay, social media is very biased, and what I mean by that is that my videos will get flagged, my TikTok will get flagged, all of that will get flagged. But these women like Drew Afalo, like like Cynthia G, like the one I'm gonna show you in this live, their videos don't get flagged. Their videos don't get taken down. So the thing is that social media, for the most part, man bashing is permissible, but a man standing up for himself is not permissible. But let's continue.
Whatever the fuck. And then you get the MGTOWs, men going their own way. That's kind of a defeatist attitude in my book. But then you got the passport.
Okay, well, the thing is about the MGTOW, this is the thing that I think MGTOW went wrong at. MGTOW went wrong when they turned MGTOW into a business. When they turned it into like I guess you can say a like a thing for profit. Like people decided to get these like do these dating workshops and stuff like that, and and it just it kind of um it just kind of went south, you know. So with that being said, So with that being said, MGTOW became a business rather than something that was legitimate to get guys in like a better position. That's where the MGTOW went wrong. I don't think it was a defeatist attitude. I think it was an attitude um of you know, I guess you can say just an answer to what was going on.
Passport bros are the guys who are saying, I think I'm going to get a passport and check out women on the other side of the planet. Great idea. Absolutely great idea. Because in the process of you going over to check out the girls on the other side of the planet, you're going to learn a lot about the rest of the world and even more about yourself.
Which is true. Very true.
For years, most recently my travels have been Europe, a little bit on the Western Europe, but mostly on the Eastern Europe, right down to Adriatic and Black Sea.
And guess what area that is? Guess what area that is? And that is my intended area of travel when it comes to it. This is my intended area of travel too, inshallah. That area includes all those I want to say those that whole region of, though I don't want to say Balkan states, but I want to say if we're talking Black Sea, that would include states that are within the Russian Federation, which are majority Muslim states.
I loved it over there. It's not unusual for East or Western Europe for people to be trilingual, fluent in 3 languages.
That is true as well. When you go to these places, oh, thank you. Thank you. Alhamdulillah. Wa alaikum salam rahmatullah. It's just a start. Basically, inshallah we'll get some more subs, but I know that my content doesn't really appeal to the masses because of the line I push, but inshallah we'll get there.
Familiar in 2 or 3 more, because that's just the way things are in Europe.
Yeah, I want to say that too, that like don't let Americans make you feel stupid because you do speak more than one language, because you do, especially if you're African. Don't let them fault you for speaking more than one, okay? It's really okay to do that. It's really okay to speak more than one. All right. There's nothing wrong with speaking more than one language. In fact, it enhances it, like I guess it can enhance your brain as well if you speak more than one language, I'm just gonna unfollow this. Hold on, just give me a minute. Unfollow.
3 of my girlfriends were engineers. 2 of them chemical engineer, one's.
And that's another thing that you need to realize when you're dealing with the foreign women. These foreign women tend to be educated, but their education did not take away from the fact that, they still remain feminine. They still remain like, submissive and things like that. Now, what needs to be said, right? What needs to be said is that, of course, the level of education, which in my opinion is much tougher in Europe than it is here in America, is that basically, unfortunately, it won't like, if a foreign woman comes over here with those same credentials, this country will not recognize those credentials. That's what needs to be said. Anybody who comes over here with foreign credentials, it will not be recognized in the United States. And I'm going to be honest, the United States education system is failing very badly.
Civil engineer, they really pride themselves on education. Don't go over there acting like the cliche American baseball camp with USA on it.
That's why the Bonnet Brigade cannot survive in these countries. Like you hear the talk amongst the Bonnet Brigade and the non-Bonnet Brigade. I haven't really seen American women marry dudes from traditional society. When Janet Jackson tried to marry an Arab, we saw how that ended in divorce. When Rihanna tried to go out with an Arab, we saw how that ended, breaking up. We saw when Carrie Hilson tried to deal with Sergei Ibaka, we saw what happened, broken up. Now she's still complaining, crying, and stuff like that. So the thing is that many of these American women who claim that they can handle these men cannot handle these men, or many of these American women who say that, oh, this option is available to me. I don't have to just I can get my passport too and go elsewhere. An American woman would not be able to survive in Dagestan. An American woman would not be able to go to Chechnya. American woman would not be able to go to Kazakhstan. American woman would not be able to go to Tajikistan. American women would not be able to go to Uzbekistan because she would disrespect the things there. There was an American woman who tried to go to Morocco. She was a militant feminist. They weren't playing that. She couldn't act the way she was acting in London, in Morocco. They weren't going to play that. They weren't playing that game.
Big American flag T-shirt because we are the terrorists of the world as far as the rest of the world considers us. Don't be chanting USA, and all this other shit. Just go over there to fit in. I don't mean to not be you, but just be polite. Be the way we used to be, respectful people when we travel the world. But I can totally understand why you're doing this, but it's easy to spend 6 months a year over there. Farther Eastern Europe, it's a lower cost of living.
So this is telling me what I need to know now. And this should be information for us as well. If you decide to make Hijra, just spend 6 months out the year in the place that maybe your wife is at. So if you decide, okay, I want to let's just take a place, for example. Just say, okay, I want a wife in Kuwait. Go to Kuwait 6 months out the year. Do what you need to do. Take care of her. Things like that. And maybe just even come back here 3 months. And if you have some investments here or whatever the case may be, handle it. But don't set yourself short with trying to do what these dating roaches are trying to do. We're trying to do what these sips are trying to do. Don't do it. It's not worth it anymore.
Doesn't mean you can take advantage of it, as some people do, but these people have a memory about who treats them right. Come back to the States, save up your money. Don't go to the clubs or other dumb shit. Go over there, have an awesome life.
Exactly. I know it's hard, okay, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right now. You don't have to do it, but I encourage you to I encourage you to uninstall all of your dating apps right now, okay? If you're one of these people who uses dating apps, I really encourage you to just uninstall them completely. All right? Don't bother matching with anybody here. Just uninstall these dating apps. Okay? it will be the best choice you make. It will be one of the wisest choices you make. You should just do it right now. Uninstall all of your dating apps. Put if you want to take option 3, which is Hydra. If you want to. If you don't want to, then by all means, do your thing.
Like I said, it's easy to spend 6-7 months a year over there living a good life. Check it out. It's one of the best things you guys can do for yourselves.
So I hope the mission is understood. Okay. And the good news is about these spots that I want to go to, at least. Not many tourists are going there en masse. So that's the good news, right? When I went to Cuba, I didn't see that many tourists there. There weren't many. There weren't many that went to Cuba, I came across a couple of Colombians. I came across a couple of Angolans as well, but they were there for their studies. So let this be a message for us. Wherever it is that you want to go, and hopefully your intentions are pure, go there for 7 or 8 days or 7 or 8 months out the year. It will be good for you. Otherwise, we'll have options like this. We're not supposed to expose Muslim sins, but this is how bad it has gotten in the West. So here you have a hijab woman actually celebrating her birthday in a club. And do you think a man who values the religion, do you think that he would actually want to entertain this? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. So you see, she has the wine. I don't know if that's her husband, but you see everything that's transpiring here. You see she has the red on. Like, I don't know what color Iblis is. I really don't know what color Iblis is. But, in the West, Iblis is actually like classified as, they use red to identify Iblis. So I showed this to show, do you really want that option for yourself? Do you really want that option? Now, this looks like a place like Finland or something like this. This looks like Finland or something, like of that sort. But here you have a hijab woman, covered woman, who is actually bartending. It looks like maybe Germany or something like that, or maybe Finland, a place like that. So again, I say, you don't have to deal with the westernized Muslim woman. Okay, the westernized Muslim woman is just as bad as the non-Muslim westernized women. Okay. All I have to do is open my Clubhouse app right now, and you can hear how bad it is. I can let you hear how bad it is. Hold on. I'll find, listen, I'll literally find a random room, right? To open up, and you will hear how bad it is. Let me see. Let me see.
Black American and Dominican.
He's whatever French Montana is.
Moroccan?
No.
Don't do
I
me
think
like
his
that.
name is
Black
Black
N-A-A.
What do you mean, do me
You
like
just say you're
that?
black and okay.
I said Black American and
No,
Dominican.
him and Kareem Benzema are distant cousins.
Do not believe. Do not believe them.
Kareem,
I
Your ass know
told.
Isaiah's from New York,
Isaiah
right?
Ola.
And Isaiah is
That's actually more offensive. I'm not gonna lie.
What is?
She said Ola when I told her I was Black American and Dominican.
Ola? That's Nigerian. Ola.
My Yemeni brother. My Yemeni brother.
Don't do that. No, I'm
Yemeni.
joking. I'm joking. It's all good. It's all good, fam.
He lives Yemeni as well, doesn't he?
Please stop with these admixtures
He's
before you
wrong,
summon
his
Gattarat.
husband.
Hey.
Yo, I'm crying.
You're talking Arab admixtures and you're gonna.
Hold on. Let me see. But you just hear these women, you know. But then there's this example too that we have. And this woman, I guess, is a dating coach. It's a dating coach. She is 40 something years old. She's a single mother. She actually had a baby with a married man, I believe. And listen to what she has to say and ask yourself, would you want to stay in the situation that we're in right now, dealing with dealing with you know, the gender war? So let's listen to it. Hold on just a minute. Just give me one example. Hold on just a minute. Okay. So I guess this is a dating coach or something like that. Listen to how she talks and also listen to the double talk that you'll hear among her.
Any company can buy traders. That's not what makes us different. What makes us different is Amazon is a technology company in its heart. Through technology, we resolve disruptions. We are more efficient about how we plan our routes. And when an issue happens, we are there to provide a very quick solution. It is really a very simple process. We built it for Amazon. Now we're opening the same service to any company that wants to use Amazon Freight. You treat your fate as if it's a role. That's what I promise.
What does strength mean to you? Some say it's how fast you run a mile.
But they're all over the world. Listen to me. First of all, women all over the world, listen to me. Stop having babies with black men.
So, you know, again, this is what we have right now. You know, this is the situation that we find ourselves in with these women. You know, we didn't ask to be in this situation, right? We simply responded to the situation, and the way we responded was pretty much to, you know, not play the blame game, but play the expose game, where a woman's past mistakes on the guys she decides to procreate with, now all of a sudden it's all of the guy's fault, who had nothing to do with their past.
I'm not saying this because I hate myself. I'm not saying this because I hate black men.
You're saying it because you're a single 40-year-old woman and you have no prospects, and you try to be a dating/life coach, but nobody's checking for you. And also you're saying it because you're overweight as well. That's why you're saying it.
I'm saying this because they have the proclivity to have negative relationships with their children. Even when they get married to a woman, a lot of them divorce women and then never see their children again.
But we're going to counter that argument in the next video that we are going to show. We're going to go back to that point that she made, or lack thereof a point that she made, in the next video.
Not because his ex-wife is a bitter bitty, but
that's because, and that's the truth most of the time. That's the truth most of the time. Bitter woman. Bitter woman. Very, very bitter woman. That's the truth.
Because they abandon children. Again, they abandon children.
Again, there's no statistics to show that they abandon children, and there's also no statistics to show that they don't. There's no statistics to show that those men don't want to be in the children's lives. You know, now granted, of course, Pookie and Ray Ray, you know, Sibo and D-Lo, like, they don't want to be in the kid's life because they didn't want to have kids to begin with, you know. Like, we understand that. I get that completely.
This is not a drill. If you want children, that's fine. But if you want somebody to help you with your children, my suggestion would not be to do that with a black man. Now, let me get this out the way. It's not all black men. But
so here you hear the back talk, you know. In one breath, she's saying, don't have kids with black men. But in another breath, she's saying, she's saying it's not all black men. So you hear the double talk, right? You hear the double talk. But let's continue.
It's so many of them that it's going to be difficult to find a black man that's not like that. I got lucky. I found a black man who wasn't like that. And now our daughter is...
So why did he stay with you? Probably because you were like that. You said you got lucky, you found a black man, but apparently he didn't stay with you.
21, and he's always been a good father. But I have a 4-year-old right now, and his father is the typical piece of shit who tries to justify why he isn't in his child's life. That's a typical behavior of black men. I'm not.
Okay, so let's talk about the typical behavior of American black women then. Now, unfortunately, other women are starting to adapt that live here, including the African ones, and they need to cut that stuff out, because if you know better, you do better. I find it very stupid when these African women see the writing on the wall. They see what's happening with these black American women, with these Beledro women. They see the writing on the wall, but yet they still partake in it. That's very, I don't know who came up with the concept of being dumb was cool. There's nothing cool about being dumb. Okay? But for some reason, they feel it's very, very cool to be dumb and make dumb decisions. She's an example of being dumb. But yet they still follow behind them. You think that by doing what they're doing, you're going to get some kind of different outcome?
Not saying all men, there are some exceptional men, but most black men are dusty. Instead of keeping their sperm to themselves, they're going to blame you for having a baby that they gave you permission to create when they gave you the elixir to get the shit done. If you don't get an abortion, to them, you had a baby that they did not want. They have sex with women they don't respect, they don't love, and they don't want to be with.
The real question is, though, was the sex consensual? Why? So that's the real question. Was the sex consensual? Did not the two parties agree to have it? Or was it just one party who said, hey, I got to get mine. What's up?
And half the time, they don't even tell you that. They just pretend like they love you and want you. And then when you end up pregnant, they try to act like it was immaculate conception and they had nothing to do with it. I'm not just talking about my deadbeat ass baby daddy. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of babies have been created by these men with women of all colors.
Well, for the most part, she's not accounting the other side of it, where there are actually Chads who create babies and don't take care of those babies either. You know, there's Brads who do that as well. So in one, like, okay, this is how you know she has ADHD or something like that. In this video, she's saying not to like create babies with black men, but in another video, she's telling people not to divest, and that divesting won't help you. So if they're not supposed to create babies with black men, then what are they supposed to do? According to your logic, if they're not supposed to divest, what are they supposed to do? Just please let me know.
Try to convince you it's just the man that you chose. All cap. I'm calling all cap.
You just admitted that the man you chose was a deadbeat father.
Bitch, if it wasn't so many of y'all being left, it would be difficult for a bitch to choose poorly. Vet men better. Keep your vagina and your womb to yourself until you are completely sure that you want to have children, and make sure that you are financially secure enough to raise them alone in the event that the man that you chose ends up not being who he said he was.
Okay, so again, she's trying to keep women single, more feminist rhetoric. You know what I notice about these characters is that when they're not happy, that means that other people can't be happy. Right? That's what that means.
Again, this is not all black men, but it's enough of them motherfuckers for you to take heed. Finding a good one is like winning the lottery. And we all know.
Well, good average is not good for the typical American BW. Average meaning if a guy maybe makes 40 to 60,000 a year, that's not good enough. Right? So the guy who makes like six figures, he's not really checking for BWs for the simple fact they look like her. You know, I can say that I earn pretty decent money through my streams of income, and you know, I definitely wouldn't be checking for her. I think she's based in Los Angeles, and my hope to Allah is that I never run into her, because I would be repulsed if I did run into her. I'm just going to be honest with you. She would repulse me, you know, overweight, unkept, off pH balance, the like thereof.
Even though there are good men out there, every good man ain't compatible with you. Don't get me started on the bird brain basic bitches who will be baby mama number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to a man they know has the history of not taking care of children effectively. So you still have to factor in, do you even have what it takes to have a good man on your arm? Too many things you gotta factor in when you dealing with black men. Black history. Run, girl, run.
So there you see, you know, you see what you're dealing with, right? So it's better for you to leave. Okay? Leave. Now, there's something else that people don't know, and this is not talked about enough. A lot of these women are mentally unstable. Men, for the most part, we don't have a choice. We got to be stable regardless. Nobody is coming to save us. We got to hold down the line. That's just that's just how it goes. Shout outs to Modern Women Archives for this video. You know it's really bad when therapists, okay? Therapists are even not choosing to deal with these modern women. They have issues that are beyond repair. And we're going to check it out. Okay, here we go.
So I've been seeing a therapist. All's been well. Literally, I had my first appointment with her. It was great. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is my dream lady. Like, thank goodness she understands me. She gets me. We're great. And then last week, before my appointment, she texts me and she goes, hey, I can't make it. Can we reschedule? I said, sure. No worries. We'll do it. Just tell me, give me a day and time, love. We'll do it. Well, we rescheduled for today. And I get a text that says, I don't think I'm meant to work with you. Run that back! Say that again! Did you just...
So the thing is that therapy, like, they're paid to do what they're doing. You know, this is something that they're paid to do. They're paid to be professionals. They got the education needed to be professionals, right? The fact that they're paid to be professionals and this is what they're supposed to do, but don't want to do it, goes to show you how bad it is with these women. But let's continue.
break up with me?
And that bitch is crazy.
I've been to therapy. I had a therapist in fall of this past year, but she ghosted me. So
Well, I can't really blame them. Like, especially dealing with a B-dub, I can't really blame them for ghosting them. You know, I hate to say it, man, Allah forgive me, but, you know, we have to like what Allah likes and hate what Allah hates. And I'm going to be honest, the behavior of American B-dubs is repulsive, and I absolutely hate it. So therefore, you know, I really don't want to be around them. I really want them to just stay the hell away from me at this point in time. You know, like, it's gotten to that point, basically. And let's continue.
So yeah, and I think I need another one back because there's some stuff in my life that I need to figure out why I feel that way.
I agree.
I just have a therapy appointment at 9 p.m. It is 9:20 p.m. My therapist fucking ghosted me.
Well, the blue hair would make me ghost you too if I was a therapist, you know. That would make me ghost you pretty quickly. Give me 1 minute.
Isn't messaging back. I emailed, I called. I'm supposed to do the appointment. I got prescribed some anxiety meds because my anxiety's been so bad. I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping, I'm just nauseous 24/7. And no, I can't be pregnant. Somebody's gonna comment that. No, impossible. Who gets ghosted by their therapist?
Just you do. Honestly, you do. Like, it's gotten to a point where therapists don't want to even deal with these women anymore. That's how bad it's gotten for them.
The worst part is I prepaid the therapy appointment.
It's a total waste of money.
I can understand why her therapist doesn't want to see her again. She comes across as absolutely insane. I get that.
Okay, so now what I want to do now, I want to go to something that was brought up by the Muslim skeptic. I'm gonna go to that, and I'm gonna let the video play. I'm gonna break down the video afterward, and then I think like in around 20 more minutes, I'll end the live stream, inshallah. Inshallah.
If you can't even five, one of the greatest, their wives are thinking, yeah. Their wives are thinking,
All right, just give me a minute. So with that being said, right?
Mark Wahlberg joins the growing list of celebrities who have left Los Angeles in recent years, including Katy Perry, Matthew McConaughey.
So with that being said, the best thing is Hydra at this point, because you see what you see the writing on the wall. You see what these Muslim women do. You see what, you know, liberal progressive Muslim men do in order to try to please these Muslim women, right? So the option is this: you must leave. It's not the most popular option, but it's the only option that is probably going to be available to you. Okay? This is probably going to be your best option. The blueprint is already laid out. We just need to follow the blueprint, okay? As bad as it sounds, this is what it is right now. Okay? Now, in terms of Khilafah, it's kind of far, you know, that's kind of far-fetched. It's very, very far-fetched, okay? Having Khilafah. It's very, very far-fetched. But let's hear something real quick.
Islam is the only religion. You can't expect any kind of consistency. It's just really, they will go to all kinds of lengths to deny like the obvious contradictions, the obvious inconsistencies on any of these issues that we're talking about, whether we're talking about like violence, whether we're talking about like marriage, like minor marriage, whether we're talking about authenticity of text, whether we're talking about theology, preservation of scripture. Like they really have nothing that they can criticize Islam with. And I mean, this is a big point also that we should make, is that, well, why are, like in an earlier clip, this young Don is saying that Islam is like the religion of Satan. Muslims are the foot soldiers of Satan.
Islam. I see it now as like, oh, God made a religion, it's Christianity. The devil made a religion, it's called Islam. It's completely shifted my attitude towards Islam. Before, I just thought this is a false religion. Now I'm like, oh no, this is a tool of Satan. This is a tool of Satan, and the people who are following it are unknowingly soldiers of the devil, of the highest degree, right? Some of his strongest foot soldiers.
And I find that so funny when you have a Christian saying that. And why do they say that? Why are they focused on Islam? Because in the whole world, there are only two religions that have any kind of positive understanding of Jesus Christ. One is Christianity and the other is Islam. All other religions are either neutral with regards to Christianity, or they actually demonized Jesus Christ. And that religion is Judaism. So there's at least one religion that actually has demonized Jesus Christ in like very disturbing and shocking ways, what they write about Jesus in their texts. But these Christians want to criticize Muslims and Islam, even though we have like the most positive view of Jesus Christ. So how does that make any sense? How can you claim to be consistent when you want to demonize Islam, but you have nothing to say about these other religions that are either neutral, like they think that Christ was just a random nobody, or they think that he was like a sorcerer, polytheist, spawn of Satan. Like you have nothing to say about those religions, but you want to focus on Islam. I'll tell you why. I'll give you the reason. It's because Islam is the only religion that has not liberalized. Islam is the only religion that hasn't sold out to like the modern liberal world. Whereas all of these other religions, like
I disagree with that. That's the only point I disagree with. I disagree with that point because when you look at the Islamic climate right now and you see what's going on in the Muslim world, and like, for example, like Morocco, you know, they made bay'at with Israel. When you see like Saudi Arabia having rave parties, when you see these things happening, you know, it's just showing you what the current trend is. So I disagree with that point that he made about Islam not selling out or things like that. I disagree with that, you know, because you see more and more things like, if, for example, there was this one woman, she was on, I think she was on Clubhouse. No, she wasn't on Clubhouse. She was on TikTok. She said basically she was a hijabi. That's what she said. Instead of hijabi, she said she was a hijabi. So with that being said, you know, this is where we're at with Islam. You know, that's how I feel about it. You know, so I disagree with him when he says that. You know, I disagree. I completely 110% disagree that Islam hasn't like sold out. You know, I disagree with that. Now, scholars, because there's hadiths that actually contradict what he's saying. That's the thing. There's hadiths that contradict what he's talking about. You know. But let's continue. Hold on. Sorry for that pause.
Hinduism, Judaism, Buddhism, even Confucianism, Shintoism, they've all liberalized. They've all adopted this liberal understanding of human value, human rights, etc. And Islam is the only holdout. Islam is the only religion that says, no, we're not going to sell out our religion. We're not going to change. We're not going to change our teachings. We're not going to distort it. Because why? Because we know it's from God and we're going to practice it. You guys are changing. So Christians on some level, either explicitly or especially these apologists, they recognize that on some level and they see Islam as a threat. Like Islam, if you compare Christianity in its reformed, modernized, liberalized, secularized form today to Islam, it's obvious that Christians have sold out. Christians have distorted their teachings, and there's like all the receipts are there when you look at the 19th century at the beginning of the Enlightenment and the pressure that was put on the church, the Catholic Church, as well as Protestants, as well as Orthodox, to update and change their teachings, to outlaw certain things. That historical record is all there. So this makes them feel threatened. It makes them feel like they have to go after the big boys, you know, Muslims. They have to go after the, you know, the true religion. They don't go after Hinduism. They don't go after Judaism. They don't go after Buddhism, because they're all in one group, like a bunch of liberalized, reformed religions. Islam is the last man standing. So it's obvious why they will focus their energy and their anger, hatred, and jealousy on Muslims and Islam.
100%. That is very true, and it's unfortunate, but alhamdulillah, I think Muslims are resilient enough, you know, to withstand that. And it's funny because you mentioned something.
So I disagree with him saying that it hasn't liberalized when Islam has liberalized, especially in the West. Like, I completely disagree with that point. You know, I disagree. What was one more video I saw?
Most of you probably don't know who Michaela Peterson is. She is the daughter of Jordan Peterson. Recently, I made a video blasting Jordan Peterson for his condescending and ignorant message to Muslims. It turns out, unfortunately, that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. In a recent video, Michaela reacts to a 10-second debate clip of me explaining the verse 434 in the Quran about patriarchal authority in marriage.
Both Islam and human rights are in 100% agreement that women are accountable if they break the law. And that means Islam and human rights are in 100% agreement that women should be beaten. We only differ on who should do the beating. You say,
that was good. That was good. That's a little bit, yeah. He didn't take a logic. That's not how logic works. Therefore, women can be beaten. Okay, that was a bit of a stretch. That's a good one, and like I'm probably more prone to laugh at these things, but but it's actually scary. Like that's actually scary. It's funny for me to laugh at it now here when everything is fine, but like if that kind of way of thinking, if suddenly that's how all your neighbors think, then it's scary.
Michaela finds this all very amusing. She says this is not how logic works. But you didn't even hear the actual argument. You just heard the first sentence. The clip is cut off before I actually present the logical reasoning. And I understand why the clip is cut off so suddenly, because if you listen to the whole argument, you won't be able to respond to it. The atheist I was debating couldn't respond to it in the debate. His atheist ex-Muslim buddies haven't been able to respond to it since, and the whole thing is an embarrassment to critics of Islam. If you want to see the whole clip in context, I'll link to it in the description so you can see for yourself. But it is interesting how scared Michaela is. She says it would be scary to live around Muslims who believe.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna end the live stream with on that note. Walaikum salam rahmatullah. Inshallah, I'll be live again tomorrow around the same time. I think I'm gonna make it a habit of going live around this time. But if put it this way, if a woman I know this is gonna sound bad. This is going to be bad what I'm going to say. But if a woman fears you, you're doing the right thing. If a modern woman fears you, especially if you're a Muslim, you're doing the right thing. Okay, you're doing the absolute right thing. Because at the end of the day, if they fear you, they won't try to, I hate to use this word, they won't try to shit test you like they do with other men. So let them continue to fear you. Does fear mean that you're gonna like snap on them or do anything bodily harm or anything like that? No, that doesn't mean that. But if they do fear you, that means they're gonna keep their distance from you. And that's the best policy when it comes to these women. Now, yes, you will be called names. Yes, they will use the 9AY. Yes, they will use, oh, you need therapy. Yes, they will use all of those points. But at the end of the day, you know what's right for you more than they'll ever know what's right for you. And what I suggest that's right for Muslim men who want to hold on to their deen, and for just men in general, not just Muslim men, but non-Muslim men as well. Whoever want to hold on to their deen and their sanity, then your best bet is either hijrah and not dealing there, and not dealing with them. That's what this is why I like Chechens so much, because these are militant Muslim men. I can't compare them to Sahaba. But when you look at the Chechen special forces, they look better. They look better than, I want to say, I want to say they look better than any other special forces. Here's one of the special forces of Chechnya. And that's another video in itself. Hold on just a minute.
Assalamu alaikum. If you're a Muslim who's fed up with your job and you want to escape the 9 to 5 and live a rich life without restriction. Bismillah! Wala! Alaikum! نجم جديد يا سجا تقع على جوز صغير
I know this sounds crazy. I know this sounds crazy what I'm about to say, but I recommend Muslim men, like especially Muslim men in the West. I I recommend that and some of these characters may be fictional, but I recommend that you at least like once a day, maybe look at the Chechen Special Forces, maybe do some research about Khalid ibn Walid, maybe do some research about Ubaidah ibn Samith, who was a black Arab, by the way. Maybe do some research about Miqdad, maybe do some research about Amir ibn As, who had I believe he had an Abyssinian mother, by the way. Even I hate to say go so far fetched, but you may even need to do some research on like guys like Kratos from God of War, the video game, because Kratos from the God of War, he didn't give a crap. He was a savage. I'll show you real quick. And that's how you have to be here, unfortunately, because these fem Nazis have forced our hand. And if you don't want to succumb to this, then you're going to have to take these figures and read about them and grab what they stood for by the like grabbing a baton.
Are you a calm and reasonable person?
I know like Islam does not promote violence or anything like that. Inshallah, please send those clips. You can send them to this email that I'm about to put in the chat. Inshallah. And those clips can become a show. But this is how you unfortunately have to be in this world, at least in the West. You can't afford to let your guard down in the West.
Hold. What are you doing? Now his guard is up.
I'm sorry.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
So you have to be a father like Kratos, okay? That's how you have to raise your kids. All right? You have to be like a Kratos. Right? But anyhow, I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna go live tomorrow, inshallah. Chances are I may be able to go live a little bit later, inshallah. But so more people can catch the stream, inshallah. But my mind is set, and what I want to do is very hard to do, but if I'm able to do it, I think it's going to pay off. But also it's in my heart to do it. So I think that like hopefully, inshallah, Allah puts the right things in my heart to do it. So the hijrah to the places that I want to go to will, inshallah, increase my iman. Inshallah. Inshallah. You know, because these are still traditional societies. The deen is there. They're still producing hufas and things like that. Inshallah. But thank y'all for tuning in. Tomorrow, you know, I'm going to think of another topic. But if the one thing I want you to take away from this topic is exit the dating market in the West. If you are a man, the reason why I say exit the dating market in the West is because if you do that, then if only Pookie and Ray Ray are left, then the less men they will have to finesse. Because Pookie and Ray Ray basically, and those type of guys don't really have a pot to piss in, versus a guy who's on the square who has a pot to piss in. It's gonna work out to our advantage. So, Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullah and Unjarama.